It's a beautiful morning, everyone. I still don't have my gimbal though, so I'd still be bobbing a lot when I'm walking. And I will try not to do that. So I'll find a place to sit down so that we can talk properly without you getting nauseous by my movement. Anyway, some women here aren't really looking at what you can do for them. They're looking at what you can do for their children. The nose, the skin, the eyes, the height. And before anybody gets comfortable, let me be clear about something here. I'm not talking about attraction. I'm talking about math. This is going to be an uncomfortable one for you and honestly for me too. It's about race. It's about the thing we do to each other in this country that doesn't get said out front. It just simmers underneath. I'm going to say it anyway, and then I'm going to turn it around on you. So don't get too settled over there, yeah? The goal today is to make all of us a little uncomfortable. In this country, all you really have to do is look at who wins. Look at the billboards, look at who takes the pageants, who ends up on television, who gets the endorsement deals, who gets picked for the movie. Go on, look at their faces. Mestizos, mestizas, half, fair, tall, over and over again. Now, let's be fair here because if I'm not, then I'm going to lose you. Pure Filipinos make it too. Half Chinese make it. And in fact, they're one of the biggest stars this country has ever produced, and they have some of the most beautiful faces. So I'm not telling you the door is closed. What I'm telling you is that look at how wide open it is. Because the pure Filipina who makes it, she had to be exceptional, stunning, and extremely talented, driven, and lucky, all at the same time clawing her way past the thousand other girls who wanted it just as badly as she did. And the beautiful mestizos and mestizas, they mostly just have to show up. One of them has to be extraordinary, the other one just has to be there. And every mother in this country can do the math in her sleep. But here's the part that actually breaks my heart, and I have watched it happen more times than I can count. A half kid gets famous, and then everybody goes looking for the mother. And the mother is, by the cruel standards we hold each other to here, is pangit, plain, dark, flat nose, short, somebody nobody ever wrote a song about. And somewhere out there, a light bulb switches on in 1,000 girls at once. Because the girl watching this has been called ang itim her whole life. Negra, lubot sa kaldero, black as the bottom of a cooking pot. She's the one whose classmates used to say, ang pango mo. She's been told she's ugly since she was 7 years old, and she believed it because the people saying it were the people who loved her. And she looks at that half-white kid's mother, and something clicks into place. I don't have to be beautiful. I just have to make someone who is. And right there, the mother stops being a mother. She becomes a blueprint. A blueprint 1,000 Filipina girls can follow. Do you see what just happened? That is not vanity. This is a woman who spent her whole life being told she was worth nothing, finally finding a door that nobody can shut on her. She can't fix her nose. She can't fix her skin. She can't take back a single word they said to her in that schoolyard. But she can marry you and she can have a child who never has to hear any of it. That's not greed, gentlemen. That's a woman trying to end something. And she has decided quietly, probably without ever telling a living soul, that she will spend her own body, her own marriage, and her own life just to make sure it stops with her. But look at what it actually is. Underneath all of it, it's survival again, just on a much longer clock. The women I talked about yesterday, they married to get their family out now. This one is playing the game that pays off in 20 years. And by the way, this can be one woman wanting both the short-term survival plus the long-term one. Because think about what a beautiful mixed child actually is here. It's not just a pretty face. It's a ticket one that keeps getting punched generation after generation. That child has a shot at the things that pull a whole family up out of nothing: the pageant, the screen, the endorsement, the marriage into money. And whatever the child earns, the family eats. And whatever the child's children carry in their faces, they pass down again and again. So she isn't buying a baby, she's buying a bloodline that can keep climbing long after she's gone. She's making a bet her grandchildren will cash. Same engine as everyone else, longer game, and a much bigger prize because she isn't spending her own years anymore. She's spending her child's face. The child isn't the reason for the marriage. The child is what the marriage is for. And one day, that kid grows up, turns 15, 16, and works out exactly what they were made for. I've met those kids. I grew up around them. We grew up watching them on TV, in the print ads, up on the billboards. They always know. And now, before any single one of you gets self-righteous about this, let me turn it around. You are being used for your genes and you are enjoying it. Because let's be honest why you came. You came because you are worth more here than you're worth back home. Your money goes further, your age matters less, your face matters less. Doors open here that were shut at you your whole life, and you did nothing to earn that. You were simply born with it. So when you found out she's doing the same math, just pointing the other way, no, you don't get to be offended. She wants your genes, you want what your passport buys. You're both sitting at the very same table, doing the very same arithmetic. It's not morals, gentlemen, it's marketing. And now, as Filipinas, and I am not going to be gentle about this one, we are teaching our daughters that they were never enough. That's what we're doing. Every time we pray for a fair baby, every time we pinch a child's nose, tubo ilong, to try to make it grow sharper. Every time we say ang itim like we're reading a diagnosis. Every time we tell the kids to jump at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve so that they'll grow taller than their parents. Trust me, I jump every single year since I was 3 and I still got stuck at 5 feet. We hand these girls a ruler. We tell them they came up short and they carry the ruler for the rest of their lives. And then they hand it to their own daughters. We didn't invent this. It was done to us for 330 odd years. But they left and we picked it up and kept it going all by ourselves long after they were gone. Nobody's forcing us now. That part is on us. And you can call it practical, you can call it discarte. You can tell me you're just being realistic about how this country actually works. And honestly, you have a point. But be honest about the price. You are betting your child's face against your family's poverty. And that child doesn't even exist yet when you started making that bet. And that child never once agreed to bet. Now, I don't want to leave this all doom and gloom because that wouldn't be honest either. Here's the other side of it. Look at what all this mixing actually made. Filipinos are one of the most beautiful, varied people on earth now, and there's a real genuine joy in that. A Filipino and a Westerner, black or white, so often make gorgeous babies, and this country celebrates those kids. That's real too. And here's the honest truth underneath the whole thing. Yes, it's a little sad when a woman picks a man partly for his genes, but walk it all the way to the end. Very often, she and that child do get a better life, a real one. And in a country where most people are barely climbing at all, wanting a better life or wanting a better future for your children and your children's children, that's not even wrong. That's a mother doing the most human thing there is. The problem was never the wanting. The problem is only ever the hiding. If two people want the same thing and they say so, let the whole internet judge. It doesn't change the fact that families do climb out through these marriages and carry that good fortune down generation after generation. That happens and that's beautiful. Just don't run it in the dark, yeah? And gentlemen, one last thing, a practical one. Because I promised I'd actually be useful and not just make you feel things. A lot of women drawn to a foreign man are quietly after both prizes. the better life, and the genes. And like we said, underneath, it's all just survival, short term and long. So here's how you protect yourself and her from years of quiet disappointment. If you already know that you don't want children, say it early, out loud, on the record. Because here's what happens if you don't. She likes you. She says yes. She means it. But tucked away inside, she's carrying a hope that one day, if she loves you well enough, you'll change your mind about the baby. And she'll wait. She'll play the long game on it for years, hinging on the whole future on a maybe you never actually offered. So take it off the table. And here's the cleanest way to do it. If it's true for you, tell her right at the start that you've had a vasectomy, that there's simply no baby coming ever, no matter what. Watch what happens next. The woman who's there for you stays. The one who was quietly waiting on that baby, she drifts. And you just saved both of you 2 years and a broken heart without a single fight. That's not a trick. That's just telling the truth early and letting the truth do the sorting. So here's where I land with this. Same place as yesterday, only harder. She is not a gold digger. She is not a scammer. She's a woman doing arithmetic in a country that taught her from the time she was small exactly what her face was worth and exactly what yours was worth too. And you're doing arithmetic right back at her. The only way out of this for either of you is to say the real thing out loud to each other before there's a child in the room who has to carry all of it. Because that child is going to grow up and look at the two of you and they're going to want to know what they were made for. And you better have an answer that isn't a ticket. Oh, one more thing before you go. Because someone close to me watched yesterday's Filipina mating strategy video and it stuck with him. He asked about the young women who marry men in their 60s and 70s and still want a baby with them. To Western eyes, he said that just looks creepy. And honestly, that discomfort is fair. But it's the same engine I just walked you through. It was never really about his age. It's about the liwat. It's about the mixed child, the genes meant to carry the whole family up a generation. You'll even hear the aunties push it. They'd say, paliwat sa imong Amerikano. Have a baby with your American already. And if she doesn't, sayang, what a waste. Because to them, the child with his genes was the whole point. So what looks like a creepy age gap from the outside is really just survival playing the longest game there is. I'm not going to open the whole thing here, but tomorrow, no, day 12, I get into the real dangers of these age gaps, the honest ones. And later this season, I'm going to map the whole thing back to where it started. The Spanish caste system that taught a brown country to prize a fair complexion in the first place. That changes how you see everything. So, one question today for both of you, and be honest because nobody is listening but you. Gentlemen, if she really wants that baby and it's off the table for you, and she insists, and you love her so much, would you still want her or would you walk away and move on? And girls, if he told you at the very start that there'd never be a baby, would you still choose him? Or were you always quietly waiting for him to change his mind? Sit with that one. Answer it honestly. Tell me below if you are brave enough, yes? Tomorrow, something a little lighter, I promise. What Filipinas actually bring to the table, and it's not what you came here for. It's better, and most of you are not ready for it. So come, walk with me for now.